Those of you who've been following crypto have probably seen the market pumping recently, but I'm going to show you in this video how you can still capitalize even if you've missed the recent crypto moves, or if you've made your returns and you're looking to rotate into new altcoins. I'm also going to show you why actually it does not matter if you're in a bear or bull market to make returns right now. I'm going to show you the screening software I use every day to look for new coins, and also how if you're smart and tactical with your approach, you could do very, very well. So let's dive in. This is AVAX USD Avalanche. Recently, we've been on a massive pump, and this is one of the ones I was invested in, and it's doing very well. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because this is a coin that's already pumped. This is not one that you would chase right now. The risk now, once we get to important resistance levels of a significant pullback of 20, 30, 40%, is very, very high. It's also possible, there is a probability that this could be the one and only pump in this particular coin for the next 6-12 months. We might go back into a sideways or bear market. There's no way of knowing for 100% certainty. Now, we need to find other coins that are setting up in a similar method before they pump. And a lot of coins are actually showing the exact same setups, and you can find them right now, and that's what I'm going to show you. So again, this is a coin, like you've seen many others, that's already pumped. We've seen trading volume break out here at the bottom and come in. We've seen wedge pattern breakouts, long-term kind of accumulation sideways in price. Solana, obviously another example. There's no reason for you, if you're new or you're rotating, to go into Solana unless you're looking to do a longer term hold. If you're looking for a quick flip over the next few days, then it's difficult. I'm not saying it won't happen, but why is it less likely? It's less likely because the trading volume has now come in, and Solana has already moved 160, 170% in literally the space of a couple of weeks. So it's going to be difficult for it to repeat that over the coming days. However, there are other coins that are set up in a similar fashion here. So let me show you some examples and where I screen the actual coins. One of my favorite websites for this, because it's just so easy, it's called Crypto Bubbles. So cryptobubbles.net, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's completely free to use. And here, when you come to the main page, you'll see these circles, which demonstrate different altcoins. And here you can see, if I click on day, which ones are up today, down today, and by the percentage. And how I've got these ordered. If you see here on the filters, I've got bubble size based on performance. That's actually what I want. I don't really care right now about market cap or 24-hour volume. We can look at that later just to make sure it's not a very, very small market cap coin where there's a massive risk that there will be a significant volatility or price swings. That's not what we want. We want something that's stable, that we can easily get into and out of as well. And all I do is I quickly glance at some of the bigger circles here, like AVAX, which is doing very well, but I have a look at some of the other ones just to see if I can then screen them. So I would find one, and then I would go open the chart on TradingView and then have a look further, just to see where it might be in this pump or in this move. In fact, let me show you a random example that I didn't pick up from screening, but it's just a very popular coin that a lot of you would have heard of, and that's Dogecoin. I was having a look at the chart today, and price is doing absolutely nothing interesting, but you can see recently we've had a little bit of extra trading volume. Nothing crazy, nothing that significant, but in terms of actual price moves, nothing's really happened much yet. And again, I'm just showing you this because a lot of you will have heard of it. It's done about 20% or so. Nothing major, nothing like what some of the other coins are doing. Some of the other coins are doing this literally in a day. But when you zoom out, when you look left on the chart, this is what you'll see if you're on a daily chart here. You'll see sideways price action for a long, long time now, going a year and a half or more from the lows. Price has literally just been sideways. But if we zoom out here, we can see longer term wedge pattern potentially forming here across these highs. And we can see that we actually might be very, very close to a breakout here. And the thing is, once you wind this up and you have a breakout here, especially with volume, the move can be quite significant, quite sharp. And potentially, if this does go like some of the others that have been popping off, even some of the meme coins, then this is what could happen. You could suddenly get a rise of 100%. So even though this one hasn't gone, you could double your money potentially. And this is not one that you'd put a large proportion of your capital into. It would only be a very small amount, but it's one that you wouldn't mind in terms of risk reward when you're looking at the setup and you're looking at the fact that the entire market is moving. Now, when the entire market moves, sometimes what you might see is some of the meme coins, etc., they kind of move a little bit later. Maybe you get some of the larger coins first. So something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, for example, may move first. Now, what's interesting about Ethereum, by the way, just whilst we're on that, is it hasn't really moved yet at all. It's done a little bit, but not really that much. But again, you can see it's winding up. We're at that 2000 level, and clearly we've got this kind of ascending wedge going towards that, and we're getting a lot of support there, a lot of consolidation. What that means is, I would say, probability-wise, good chance of a breakout that will be swift and sharp, hopefully supported by some volume. But why wouldn't I get involved in ETH? Not because it's not a good cryptocurrency to be involved in, it's just because of the potential of returns. We've seen a lot of trading here around these levels, around 2,500, 3,000, etc. So if we got a massive move to 2,400 or something, which would be very significant for ETH, in terms of percentage amounts, what would that actually mean? That would actually mean, well, we're talking maybe 15%, max 20%. Not great, really, to be honest with you. I think longer term, ETH could go a lot further than that, but that wouldn't make sense. That's why I use crypto bulls. So I would literally find one here. Let's use another one as an example here. A couple I'm following, Near USD and TIA. And if you have a look at these, you can see Near here has already moved a decent amount, not massive though. I would say maybe 50, 60%. And potentially it could do a lot more. The trading volume's coming in here. We're at a level here where there's a lot of resistance around the 170 level. And a lot of trading's happened here before. So you'd expect price to slow down. However, if it gets through here, it wouldn't be too long before we get to a much higher level. So this would definitely be one I would be watching, which you could argue is maybe 20% of its way through this particular short-term pump we're having in altcoins, where AVAX might be 70 or 80% along it. And I don't mean the entire cycle. If this is a beginning of another bull market, then we would get one impulsive move that goes up. So let me just draw it in here. So let's say that was the first move. Then we'll get nothing for like a few weeks or a few months. And then we would get an absolutely crazy, massive move. And then another one after that as well, if it's a bull market. But even in that case, if it's a bear market or bull market, you've got this move. Whether it's corrective, impulsive, we don't care. You've got this move where some coins, you're into this move a little bit more. You're already 50 or 60% into this move. And in some others, you're only now beginning the move. Because Bitcoin at some point is going to correct. It always does. And sometimes that correction could be very, very deep and prolonged, as you guys will know from the last couple of years of following Bitcoin. So that's all you need to pick. In this current pump, where are we with some of the coins? Are some of them just lagging and look like they're never ever going to do anything? Leave them well alone. But some others that look like they're about to get started and they've got very, very good technical patterns forming or in place. For example, even here, draw a trend line down. And this is very basic technical analysis. It's not something special or fancy, but you can see here we broke through a trend line, we found support on the trend line, and we're kind of waiting. We've done a little 10, 20%, we're waiting and nothing's really happening. And this was fresh new lows. So if we were going to start some massive new leg up, then everything's actually in place here for it to potentially happen. Again, like I said, it could be corrective. We don't know yet. So let's have a look at some others. Another one I'm seeing here, SNX, up 10% today. Let's research that more. I prefer to look at the technicals first. Then I might research the coin further, look at market cap and stuff like that. But let's have a look at the coin. You can see here, longer term view, massive move up 2020 going into 2021, like a lot of trending altcoins at that time. And we haven't really re-explored those initial lows, which is kind of a good sign. So you may even call this an impulsive wave and a correction, and potentially at some point we might be setting up for a move back up, potentially. Now, if we look closer at the price action, what we see is sideways price action for, again, a year and a half. And it looked like a significant low at the beginning of this year. A move up, nothing special in terms of the move. So what do we get here? A double, basically 100%, which is not great. Because if that's all it did in January, when a lot of the other coins, AI coins, etc., pumped a lot more, then I would argue that the potential might be less than some of the other coins that we're pumping. But anyway, we're going sideways at the moment, and we're slowly getting higher lows, and we're getting some consolidation around this area of resistance. that has been an area of resistance for a while, around the $3 region. Now we're attacking that area again, and we had a bit of a pump today. And if you have a look at volume, it's broken out and it's higher, but not in any kind of significant fashion. So I would want to keep an eye on that. I would want to see even more volume come in. But what I'm interested in is if it clears this area, how quickly can it move up to 4.5 and beyond? Because there's a lot of clear sky here beyond. And again, you could potentially make 50%, 60%, maybe even 100% in this same move that all of the coins are experiencing at the moment. So this would be one I would add to my watch list. Watch carefully. And if I wanted to, apportion a little bit of budget. Now, generally, you want to do the investing before pumps happen, ideally. The good thing about some of these, when they're just going sideways, is one problem is obviously you don't know whether it's going to move, which is fair enough. But the good thing is if you invest and it's just doing nothing, you just sell. And literally, it's not going to just drop right back to the lows after a day or two. It's going to mess around sideways and just do nothing, or go down a bit sideways or up a bit sideways. So you have plenty of time to make that decision. And if it pops off, it's really easy because you're in profit. So you can just hold. You can just hold knowing you're not going to lose any money on this trade, and see if it runs. And if it doesn't really run that much, sell, rotate into another coin and carry on. That's how with a smaller budget, you can use rotation and move around. So if you've done well on a couple of coins, like a lot of people have, for example, a lot of people who have done really well on Solana, move on, take the profits, consider moving into another coin that's not moved yet, and you can always rotate back into Solana. Yes, there's a risk you might miss this running. I mean, I think it may go up to, about 80-ish and stuff, and then we'll have a pullback or consolidation and stuff like that. I don't think it'll run more than that in this current move, which may only last days or a couple of weeks longer. We don't know yet. I don't think it will go over 100, but it's possible. So obviously you can just hold and see how it goes. But what's more likely? What's more likely if everything's popping off? It's like popcorn. If you put popcorn in a microwave, you get some of the kernels popping off, then you get another one going, then another one going, and then another one going. Then there's a few left that haven't gone yet. It doesn't mean everything's going to pop off. But again, look at the technical analysis, look at the signs, see if there's something setting up. Look at the ones that have already pumped. What are the signs that you saw then? It's not rocket science. You don't need to do any crazy amount of technical analysis on this just to get involved. And then make sure that you consider taking profits, because that's the other massive mistake all people in cryptocurrency make. They never, ever, ever take any profits when they're trading. They just assume the pump will go on forever. Where actually what the whales do is at the beginning, initial parts of the move, they actually would sell. They would never hold and risk even missing out on those final percentage points. They would rather sell and move on, because the probability of them making a return or on a larger sum of money is a lot higher. So it makes a lot of sense. You have to kind of think how the whales think, because cryptocurrency is always going to do well, and some coins are always going to do well some years, and other coins. What I mean is there's always new opportunities. Those opportunities are not going to suddenly disappear. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for listening.